Your cat is not asking for much. It does not need expensive things. It does not need elaborate routines or complicated rituals. What it needs, what it has always needed, from the very first day it came into your life, is something far simpler than most owners realize. It needs to feel chosen, safe, seen, and the way you give it those things matters more than how often you try, because your cat does not measure love in grand gestures. It measures love in the small, consistent daily acts that speak directly to the animal it actually is. These are the 6 acts of love your cat is hoping to receive from you, not occasionally, for life. The freedom to choose. The first act of love your cat hopes to receive from you has nothing to do with touch or play or attention. It is simply this: the freedom to choose. Cats did not evolve as pack animals who looked to a leader for direction. They evolved as solitary hunters with finely tuned autonomy. Creatures whose survival depended on their own ability to decide when to move, when to hide, when to approach, and when to withdraw. That evolutionary history did not disappear when cats moved indoors. It is still there, shaping how safe your cat feels in every interaction. A cat that is regularly picked up when it has not asked to be held, approached when its body language says it needs space, or prevented from leaving a situation it finds uncomfortable. The cat carries a low-level stress that accumulates quietly over time. It learns that its signals do not work, that its limits are not honored, and it moves through its relationship with you with a guarded quality that is the opposite of what you were hoping for. The most loving thing you can offer is a relationship in which your cat always has a choice, where it can come to you or not, where its signals are read and respected every single time. A cat that has always been given this freedom does not pull away. It stays, not because it has to, but because staying has always been something it was free to choose. The slow blink, given first. Your cat has a language. Most owners learn to receive it, fewer learn to speak it. The slow blink is the single most powerful word in that language. A deliberate half close of the eyes that signals, in the deepest register of feline communication, complete safety and trust. It is the gesture cats use only in the total absence of threat, only when everything is right. Most owners know to slow blink back when their cat does it first, and that matters. But what matters more, what your cat hopes for, even if it cannot articulate the hope, is for you to offer it first. To look across the room at your resting cat in a quiet moment when it asked for nothing and send that signal unprompted. To say, in the language it was born understanding, I see you. I am calm. You are safe with me, right now. Research from the University of Sussex confirms that cats respond to human-initiated slow blinks with significantly more approach behavior, more sustained attention, and more reciprocal blinking than when the gesture is absent. The effect holds even with strangers, but it is deepest with the person the cat already loves. Your cat is not waiting for you to say I love you. It is waiting for you to blink slowly across the room for no reason at all. Do that every day, and you will be speaking its language with a fluency most cats never get to experience. A hunt that ends well. Every indoor cat is carrying something it was never designed to carry, the weight of a biological drive that almost never gets resolved. Cats are predators. At the level of their nervous system, their entire existence is organized around the hunt cycle. Stalk, chase, pounce, catch, consume, rest. That sequence, run from beginning to end, produces a neurological settling so complete that the cat emerges calmer, more present, more capable of the relaxed affection most owners are hoping for. Without it, the energy accumulates. It surfaces as restlessness, aggression, or the low-grade irritability that owners attribute to personality rather than unmet need. Giving your cat a hunt that ends well, 10 to 15 minutes of active play with a wand toy move the way prey actually moves, followed by a small meal to complete the consume and rest stage, is one of the most profound acts of love on this list. Because it answers something in your cat that nothing else can answer. You are the only one in your cat's world who can give it this. Do it every day. It is love in the language of biology. Before we continue, if this is landing in a way that makes you want to do better for your cat starting today, and you have not subscribed yet, now is the moment. We post content like this every week. Warm, research-grounded animal behavior that speaks directly to the relationship between you and your cat. It is free and takes one tap. Subscribe and keep going. The last 3 acts are the quietest ones and often the most forgotten. A world that stays predictable. This one is invisible. Most owners never think of it as love at all. But for a cat, it may be the most foundational act of care on this entire list. Cats do not experience predictability the way humans do, as comfort or preference. They experience it as safety. Their entire nervous system is calibrated to detect change, because in the world their ancestors navigated, change often meant danger. A shift in the environment was a signal to be alert, to be ready, to not fully relax until the new information was processed and filed. Your home is your cat's whole world. Everything it knows about safety lives inside those walls. And every time that world stays consistent, feeding at the same time, the litter box in the same place, the familiar sounds in their familiar order, the emotional temperature of the home stable and unhurried, your cat's nervous system receives a signal it needs to hear. Nothing is wrong. Everything is as it should be. You can rest. That message, delivered consistently over a lifetime, is one of the deepest forms of love a cat can receive. Not because it is dramatic, because it is reliable. And for an animal whose sense of safety is built entirely on reliability, that is everything. To be heard when it speaks. Your cat is communicating with you constantly. The question is whether you are listening. The slow blink offered from across the room, the tail raised in greeting as you pass, the soft trill in the hallway, a sound reserved for positive social acknowledgement directed at you, the deliberate choice to rest in the same room as you, the gentle head bump that says, "You are mine and I am glad you are here." Each of these is a word, a reaching toward you in the only language your cat possesses. What your cat hopes for, across an entire lifetime with you, is to be heard when it speaks, to send a signal and have it land, to reach toward you and find that you are paying enough attention to reach back. You do not need to respond dramatically. A soft word, a slow blink return, a brief pause to simply be present for a moment. That pause tells your cat something it needs to know, and that its language works, that the communication is real, that you are there on the other end of it, listening. A cat that has experienced this consistently develops a quality of ease around its person that is unmistakable. The ease of an animal that has never had to wonder whether it is being seen. To be chosen every day, and the last act of love is the simplest, and the one that takes the longest to fully understand. Your cat knows it is not your only obligation. It knows there are other things in your world. Work, other people, noise, movement, a life that extends far beyond the walls of the home it never leaves. It cannot ask you to choose it. It has no way to make that request. It can only wait and watch and hope, in whatever way cats hope, that when you have a moment, you will use it for this. For sitting near it with nothing else demanding your attention. For running your hand along its back with nowhere to be. For pausing at the end of a long day, before you do anything else, to simply be present in the same space as your cat and let that be enough. Every time you do this, every time you choose your cat in a moment when you could have chosen something else, it registers. Not as a single event, as a pattern, as a lifetime of evidence, accumulating quietly in the background that this person values my presence, that I matter to them beyond what I offer or require, that they choose me. That is what your cat hopes to receive from you, not perfectly, not always, just consistently enough that it never has to wonder. Choose your cat every day in small ways. For as long as you share a life, it will know. 6 acts, none of them complicated, all of them within reach of any ordinary day. Your cat is not hoping for perfection. It is hoping for presence. Drop a comment and tell me which one you felt most, and click the next video. See you there.